I had a conversation with my boyfriend and the rose-tinted glasses came off. How can I navigate this? The soft light from my phone lit up my face as I sat on the couch. My apartment felt very quiet, heavy, even. It wasn't a sad quiet, or an angry quiet. It was something much stranger, an empty feeling. Just a blank space where, a few minutes ago, there had been feelings like love, annoyance, hope, and all sorts of mixed-up thoughts about Liam, my boyfriend. But now, after his last message, there was nothing. My name is Clara, and I'm 31 years old. Liam is also 31, and we've been together for about a year and a half. Our relationship, like many others, has been a bit like a ride on a roller coaster. There have been really good times, moments where we felt so close and laughed so much that my heart felt full. We've told each other I love you many times, and we truly meant it. But there have also been very bad times, moments where we almost broke up. Each time, we managed to get through it. We'd talk for hours, sometimes crying, sometimes just sighing because we were so frustrated. And every time, we told ourselves we had made it through, that we were stronger and understood each other better. We thought we had faced the problems and were now on steady ground. The biggest problem, the dark cloud that always hung over our relationship, was always the same, Liam's hobby. And also, the club that went with his hobby. It wasn't just a simple hobby. It was something that took up all his time and energy. It was like a second life that, at times, felt like it took more from him than I did. He was on the volunteer team for this club, which meant he had to go to meetings every Monday night. Then there were the regular weekly hobby sessions, Wednesday and Thursday evenings, for sure, and sometimes even Friday nights. And weekends. Don't even think about it. Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, often lasting into the afternoon. On top of all this, he spent several full weekends each year doing this hobby away from home, using up his vacation days for it. It wasn't just about him being there physically. The paperwork and planning for the club seemed to take over every part of his life. I'd see him bent over his laptop, typing quickly, sending emails or organizing schedules, even when we were supposed to be spending time together. He'd get calls from club members during dinner, while we were watching movies, or even when we were just trying to relax. He had even gotten into trouble at his real job for doing club work during his office hours. That was embarrassing and also made me worry. Recently, there had been a lot of arguments and problems within the club itself. As a committee member, Liam felt he had to fix all of them. All this constant responsibility, plus the stress of dealing with difficult people, often made his mental health worse. He would come home tired, easily annoyed, with dark circles under his eyes, complaining about the latest club crisis. And more than once, he had cancelled plans with me, or changed a date night, because his hobby was more important. A very important meeting or an urgent problem at the club always seemed to come before our plans. It's no surprise that this constant putting his hobby first led to many arguments. My frustration was like a pot of water that was always simmering, and sometimes it would boil over. It feels like you just expect me to fit into your life as it is, I had told him many times, my voice shaking a little between sounding like I was blaming him and sounding like I was begging. Like I'm just an extra thing in your hobby, something you can pick up when you have a free moment. He would always listen, or at least he would act like he was listening. He would say sorry, promise to do better, and swear that he loved me and that I was the most important person to him. We talked about finding ways to make things fair. We'd agreed to have more special date nights. He'd promised to spend fewer weekends on his hobby. We'd try to set a clear line between work, hobby, and our time together. I did see small changes, quick moments where I thought, yes, we're finally getting somewhere. He understands now. He's choosing me, choosing us. And for a while, I truly believed things had gotten better. My rose-tinted glasses, the ones that made everything look a bit nicer and happier, were back on, even if they had a few scratches. They made the problems seem less sharp. But then came today. Today, something clicked inside me, and it couldn't be undone. I am a bisexual woman, and the local Pride Parade means a lot to me. It's more than just a big party. It's a way to celebrate who I am, a strong sign that people are accepted, and a lively gathering of my community. I had told him how excited I was about it weeks ago, probably mentioning it many times. We hadn't made a solid plan to go together, but he had said, if I'm free, I'll definitely go. That was enough for me. His easy agreement felt like a quiet promise, a sign that he supported me and wanted to share in something that was important to me. I held on to that idea. The parade was happening very soon, and I was truly excited. I loved the energy, all the bright colors, and the feeling that everyone was together. I had imagined us there, laughing, maybe holding hands, taking it all in together. It felt like a small but important moment for our relationship. Then, the message arrived. A simple text message, ordinary in how it was sent, but terrible in what it meant. "Hey, just got asked to do something for the club on Saturday instead. Is that okay? So I probably can't make Pride." My stomach dropped. Asked to go. Not had to go. Asked. This meant he had a choice. And he was asking me if it was okay. A familiar feeling rose in my throat, a bitter taste. How many times had I said no to his club duties in the past, only to be met with sighs, clear attempts to make me feel bad, or even direct accusations that I was stopping him from doing his hobby. It always made me feel like the bad guy, the demanding girlfriend who was holding him back from his passion. So, in these moments, I had learned to say yes. Or rather, I had learned not to say no. Because, truly, I am not that kind of person. People make their own choices. That is their decision, not mine. I didn't want to be responsible for him missing out, even if it meant I was missing out too. So, I typed back, "Oh, okay. That's a shame. Yeah, that's fine." My fingers moved by themselves, a habit I had developed. But then, a different question came into my mind, one I felt I had to ask. "Did you even want to go to Pride, though?" I typed, sending it before I could change my mind. It was a test, I knew. A small, desperate hope for a different answer. His reply came almost right away. "I would have, but my hobby is more important." And that was when something inside me just clicked. It wasn't a big explosion, not a sudden rush of anger or sadness. It was colder, sharper. Like a perfect glass falling from my hand, not breaking loudly, but falling slowly, showing all the tiny cracks that had always been there, hidden. The rose-tinted glasses, the ones I had worked so hard to fix after every fight, fell off completely. They landed on the hard, unforgiving floor. My hobby is more important. This event, Pride, was important to me. Very important. It wasn't just a casual outing. It was something I felt excited about, something that was connected to a deep part of who I am. I had spent so much time at his club meetings, bored but trying to be supportive. I had gone to his events, watched from the side, pretending to be interested in something I barely understood. I had helped him, always, sometimes without even being asked, just because I wanted to show up for him, to support his passion. I had given my time, my energy, my presence. And yet, here I was. Something very important to me, something I was truly excited about, and he couldn't do the same for me. Not just that he couldn't, but he clearly said it wasn't as important as his hobby. It no longer felt like just a problem with scheduling. It felt like he was saying, very clearly, "I'm not interested in the thing that you find important because it's not important to me. And because of that, you're not as important as my hobby." The strangest part was not feeling anything. I didn't feel anger. There was no hot wave of fury that usually came with our arguments. I didn't feel hurt, no sharp pain in my chest. I wasn't even disappointed, not really. In fact, I didn't feel anything at all. And that was it. That was the click. I didn't feel anything for him. No warmth, no affection, no feeling of wanting to protect him. No love. No support. No togetherness. The well of my feelings had simply run dry. All the years of trying to make things work, of understanding, of giving in, of believing his promises, had finally used me up. There was nothing left for me to give, and it seemed, nothing left for me to get from him. He had a choice. He could have said no to the club. He could have chosen me, just this one time, for something that meant so much. But he hadn't. He had chosen his hobby, again. And I felt nothing. I am torn, very much so. I still remember the love we shared, like a ghost. I am torn, very much so. I still remember the love we shared, like a ghost of the connection that had pulled us through all those almost breakups before. We have gotten through things before. We have tried. But how do you get through this? How do you come back from feeling absolutely nothing for the person you are supposed to love? What advice would you give someone who has finally seen their life clearly, without any soft, happy filters? Is there a way forward when the very core of what connects you has simply disappeared? The questions hung in the air, heavier than the silence, demanding an answer I didn't yet have.